Following a string of devastating natural and human-caused catastrophes, society as we knew it ceased to exist. Devoid of electricity and essential resources, humanity found itself compelled to embark on a fresh start, with survivors reverting to agrarian lifestyles to scavenge for sustenance. Centuries after the collapse of civilization, 7 individuals rise to prominence within a feudalistic framework, amassing and exchanging resources to attain the status of barons. The once recognizable North American landscape has transformed into the Badlands, a realm partitioned into 7 distinct territories, each presided over by a baron and characterized by a unique resource. To safeguard their domains, the barons have enlisted warriors known as clippers, adept in combat with bladed weaponry, as firearms have been outlawed due to their deadly nature. Among these clippers is Sonny, traversing the expansive countryside on his motorcycle, his journey abruptly halted by the sight of numerous human corpses and a wrecked truck at the roadside. Surveying the scene, Sonny discerns evidence suggesting that one of the victims had been bound before being set free. Utilizing a spyglass, he observes smoke billowing from the nearby forest, prompting him to hasten towards it, where he encounters a band of nomads encamped amidst the trees. Inquiring about the unsettling discovery he stumbled upon, Sonny highlights that the cargo belonged to his baron. Despite the nomads' protestations of ignorance, Sonny discerns their deception upon spotting a conspicuously ornate crate among their possessions. Confronting them, a skirmish ensues as one of the men launches an attack on Sonny, only to find himself outmatched as Sonny swiftly dispatches him. Enraged by their comrade's demise, the remaining nomads converge upon Sonny in a coordinated assault, yet his mastery of martial arts enables him to effortlessly incapacitate each assailant, eliminating them one by one until none remain standing. Amidst the aftermath, Sonny discovers gold coins adorned with butterfly insignias. Upon prying open the crate, he is startled as a teenager named MK emerges, attempting to flee. Employing bolas, Sonny ensnares and subdues MK, rendering him unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, MK observes Sonny interring the fallen nomads, a scene shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Following MK's revelation regarding the widow's involvement in his abduction, Sonny compels him to assist in completing the burial site. Subsequently, the duo proceeds to the fort, where Sonny exposes MK to the rigorous training regimen endured by the youths groomed to become clippers. Their arrival coincides with a gathering convened by Baron Quinn, during which he vehemently denounces religion as a falsehood, asserting his sole authority in providing sustenance to his subjects, rather than any divine entity. In a commanding gesture, Quinn directs Sonny to bare his torso, unveiling a tapestry of scars adorning his back, each emblematic of a life taken in service to the Baron. Post-conference, Sonny recounts the day's events to Quinn and his son Ryder, yet MK remains perplexed as to the widow's motives for targeting him. Despite Ryder's enthusiasm for retaliation, both Quinn and Sonny adamantly oppose instigating a conflict. Subsequently, MK finds himself relegated to the pit alongside his peers, where he becomes the target of Ajax's harassment, resulting in the pilfering of his necklace. Reacting impulsively, MK retaliates, inciting a brawl that prompts Sonny's intervention to quell the altercation. Reclaiming the stolen necklace from Ajax, Sonny is taken aback upon recognizing the emblem of a metropolis, unaware of Ryder's keen observation of his reaction. Later, in the solitude of his cabin, Sonny retrieves a compass bearing the identical symbol found on MK's pendant, triggering a flashback to his youth when he acquired the compass from a deceased comrade. In that instant, Ryder emerges and seizes the necklace. Later, at nightfall, Sonny clandestinely ventures into a neighboring village to rendezvous with his paramour Vale, a physician. Following their liaison, Vale persists in instructing Sonny on literacy, but also discloses a revelation. She's expecting a child. Nonetheless, Sonny urges her to get rid of it, as introducing a newborn into the Badlands would prove imprudent and hazardous. Despite Vale's attempts to sway him with tales of secure havens beyond the Badlands, Sonny disregards her pleas and departs. Returning to the stronghold, MK is abruptly assaulted by Ajax, resulting in a bloody injury to MK's mouth. Witnessing his own blood, MK's eye darkens and swiftly moves, propelling him to kick Ajax into a mirror. As shards scatter, MK seizes a fragment and hurls it at Ajax's eye, observed by Sonny. Subsequently, MK loses consciousness, prompting Sonny to transport him to his dwelling. Upon awakening, MK concedes that the phenomenon occurs whenever he bleeds, yet remains uncertain of its nature. Since childhood, MK has experienced this condition, prompting him and his mother to flee in search of a remedy. However, their attempt was thwarted when they were apprehended by nomads and separated. Sunny reveals his compass to MK, who identifies it as a symbol of Azra, their rumored homeland beyond the Badlands. Desiring the return of his necklace, MK learns from Sunny that Ryder possesses it and is instructed to return to the barracks. Subsequently, Sunny rushes to inform Vale about Azra, but hesitates at her doorstep. On his way back, he detects a nearby vehicle and finds himself suddenly encircled by a band of assailants who launch a coordinated attack. Once again, Sunny demonstrates his prowess, effortlessly dispatching his adversaries as he maneuvers through the streets and even scales a car to maintain control of the brawl. One after another, the assailants fall until only the occupant of the car remains, who is revealed to be the widow. Inquiring about MK, she is rebuffed by Sunny, prompting her departure. Meanwhile, MK covertly enters Ryder's quarters to retrieve his necklace, but is caught by Ryder himself, who forcibly retrieves it and confronts MK, pinning him against the wall. In that moment, Lydia enters, stunned by the emblem adorning the necklace. MK finds himself imprisoned, facing a death sentence. When Sunny questions his reckless actions, MK reveals that the necklace is his only link to his mother and asks Sunny to convey his farewells if he ever finds her. Moved by MK's emotional breakdown, Sunny decides to set him free. Guiding him through an underground passage that leads outside the fort, Sunny remains unaware of Lydia witnessing their escape. Meanwhile, in the evening, Ryder engages in intimate relations with Jade, his father's prospective third wife. Later, at a bar, the widow confronts her former regent, who instinctively reaches for his sword, only to be swiftly disarmed. She arrives with intentions of discussing politics, but her attention is drawn to an assassin lurking nearby. Swiftly reacting, she evades an incoming hand axe, which inadvertently strikes her former regent. Without hesitation, the widow engages the assailants in a deadly dance, swiftly dispatching them with her lethal daggers. With the bar now littered with bodies, she interrogates a survivor, discovering they were sent by Ryder. The following day, MK continues his escape, venturing into a forest where he stumbles upon a collection of pillars adorned with a butterfly emblem. As he explores, he witnesses Tilda demonstrating impressive hunting skills, prompting him to observe from a concealed vantage point. Abruptly, she materializes behind him, accusing him of espionage. Yet, upon learning of his tragic loss to nomads, she softens, offering him food out of compassion. As they share a meal, MK notices that her shuriken bear a resemblance to butterflies. Their moment is interrupted by the sound of barking dogs, signaling the approach of a search party led by Ryder and Sunny. In a stroke of fortune, Tilda guides MK to safety within the widow's domain, knowing that Ryder and his party cannot pursue them without risking conflict. Arriving at the widow's stronghold, MK discovers Tilda to be the widow's own daughter. While MK takes a bath, the widow seizes the opportunity to interrogate him, discerning his deception regarding his past as a farmer. She questions him about a boy bearing a necklace, presenting a picture of Azra, but MK feigns ignorance. Later, 3 nomads visit the widow, but decline her offer to join forces out of fear of Quinn. In a bid to secure their allegiance, the widow proposes a deal. If Tilda can defeat one of Quinn's men, they must align with her. However, if they emerge victorious, they can claim Tilda for themselves. A fierce battle erupts between Tilda and one of the nomads, culminating swiftly with Tilda emerging as the victor, a scene witnessed by MK from his concealed position. Following the clash, the widow instructs Tilda to engage MK in combat, aiming to draw blood as proof of his identity. MK is informed that his training is about to commence, finding himself alone with Tilda, who immediately launches an attack, brandishing a knife. In the midst of their confrontation, she interrogates him about his intentions in the forest, to which he desperately claims he was merely searching for his mother. Moved by compassion, Tilda uses her own blood to mark MK's cheek, instructing him to feign injury. With a convincing scream of pain, MK makes his exit, unaware that the widow is observing their interaction from a distance. Meanwhile, Sunny accompanies Quinn to visit a doctor, who happens to be Vale's father. In a private conversation, the doctor delivers grim news to Quinn. He has a brain tumor, with his life expectancy extending only until the winter solstice. Quinn implores the doctor to keep his diagnosis confidential. Then, upon leaving, commands Sunny to eliminate the doctor and his wife. Sunny, however, refuses, recognizing them as innocents. Enraged, Quinn seizes his sword and storms into the house to carry out the gruesome deed himself. Following the murders, Quinn orders Sunny to set the house ablaze, along with the bodies. Later that evening, Sunny seeks solace with a grieving Vale, disclosing Quinn's heinous actions against her parents. Suspecting Quinn's illness and fearing his erratic behavior, Sunny pledges to safeguard Vale and their unborn child, vowing to escort them away from the treacherous Badlands. Meanwhile, in a nearby town, Ryder hires Angelica, a cunning worker, and discovers she possesses a piece of his father's upper. In a fit of rage, he coerces her into revealing its origin: the Nomads, who possess a turbine station brimming with the substance. Outside, a passerby notices a message left by Angelica. Amidst the night, MK confides in Tilda his urgent need for escape. Together, they search the office for a concealed passage leading to the woods, but their plans are interrupted by the imminent arrival of the widow and the Nomads. Tilda, quick on her feet, plants a kiss on MK to create the illusion of romantic entanglement, prompting the widow to declare MK unwelcome in their midst. As the Nomads escort MK away, the widow receives word that Ryder has taken the bait. Meanwhile, en route, the Nomad leader unveils a wanted poster and incapacitates MK before stashing him in the car trunk. The following day, Ryder and Sunny survey the turbine station, observing a vehicle discharging a group of Nomads. Venturing inside, MK regains consciousness within the confines of the car trunk and utilizes a butterfly-shaped shuriken, a gift from Tilda, to free himself from his restraints. Meanwhile, Ryder and Sunny inspect the containers within the station, only to find them devoid of their anticipated contents. Their search is abruptly interrupted as they find themselves encircled by Nomads, who reveal themselves to be under the command of the widow. Ryder finds himself ensnared by a chain, rapidly losing consciousness as he struggles to breathe. Meanwhile, Sunny engages the Nomads in a fierce battle, outnumbered but undeterred by their sheer numbers. His superior skills and agility allow him to swiftly dispatch his adversaries, utilizing the station's layout to his advantage, and executing precise maneuvers that result in their rapid demise. Just as Sunny moves to free Ryder from his predicament, he is caught off guard by the Nomad leader, who launches a surprise attack from behind. With death seemingly imminent, MK intervenes at the 11th hour, eliminating the final Nomad and saving Sunny from certain demise. In the aftermath, MK proposes a means of escaping the Badlands, but Sunny acknowledges that he cannot leave due to the threat posed by Quinn. Instead, he resolves to train MK to ensure Vale's protection and to guide her to the elusive sanctuary of Azra. After Ryder receives medical attention, Quinn encounters MK and attempts to strangle him in a fit of rage. However, Sunny intervenes, explaining that MK was instrumental in their rescue and proposes taking him on as his apprentice. Reluctantly, Quinn agrees, on the condition that MK pledges unwavering loyalty to him. In addition, he declares open hostilities against the widow. In due course, Quinn leads a contingent of Clippers on a daring assault into the widow's domain. Sunny instructs the students to remain vigilant as lookouts while he and the main force breach the fort's defenses, swiftly overpowering the enemy soldiers with their lethal blade techniques. Despite Sunny's orders to stay put, MK defies him, sneaking into the fort to pilfer a book bearing the emblem of Azra. In the midst of his covert operation, MK catches sight of Tilda making her escape with the apprentices. Despite his attempts to call out to her, she ignores him and departs. Meanwhile, Quinn confronts the widow, their battle a display of expert blade work and lethal precision. Though Quinn gains the upper hand and forces the widow to the ground, his triumph is short-lived as he succumbs to a debilitating headache and collapses. Initially skeptical due to Waldo's wheelchair-bound state, MK is astonished by Waldo's speed and strength, ultimately conceding defeat. Waldo uses the opportunity to impart a valuable lesson about seeing beyond surface appearances. Meanwhile, within the widow's domain, she and her disciples stumble upon an abandoned dwelling that they decide to utilize as shelter. Tasking Tilda with retrieving Angelica before Sunny can reach her, the widow sets her plans in motion. Simultaneously, Vale is summoned to the fort to attend to Ryder's medical needs. Despite Lydia's reservations about the bone drill, Vale explains the necessity of relieving Ryder's brain swelling to prevent his imminent demise. The surgery proves successful, and Ryder soon awakens from his unconscious state. Seizing the opportunity, Quinn wastes no time in interrogating Ryder about the identity of his assailants, prompting Sunny to embark on a mission to locate Angelica. Shortly after, Sunny and MK reach the town, Sunny instructs MK to remain outside while he confronts Angelica. Meanwhile, Tilda arrives and confronts MK, questioning their allegiances. Inside the building, Sunny incapacitates Angelica's accomplice, prompting her to retaliate with a sword, injuring Sunny. A skirmish ensues, with Sunny gaining the upper hand. He demands information about the widow's whereabouts from Angelica. She pushes him away and escapes through a window, leading Sunny to pursue her across the balconies. Eventually, he blocks her path and the confrontation recommences. Realizing defeat is inevitable, Angelica chooses to retreat. Witnessing her decision, MK urges Tilda to flee. Later, they visit Vale's place for Sunny's wound to be tended to, where MK is intrigued to discover Vale's literacy. Subsequently, Quinn informs Sunny that his altercation with the widow has unsettled the other barons, who seek negotiation. Quinn proposes an alliance with Baron Jacoby and tasks Sunny with arranging a meeting due to his acquaintance with Ziffer, Jacoby's second-in-command. After Sunny departs, MK clandestinely enters his room to retrieve the book. Later that evening, Sunny meets with Ziffer, who suggests that eliminating Quinn could prevent an impending war among the barons. Sunny, however, remains loyal and declines the suggestion. Ziffer agrees to attempt to facilitate the meeting, but offers no assurances. Later, MK pays a visit to Vale, requesting her assistance in deciphering the book. However, Vale is unable to identify the language. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Quinn, who implores Vale to aid him as she did Ryder. Vale provides him with a potion that could alleviate his symptoms while slowing the progression of his tumor. Meanwhile, in a forest, Tilda, drenched in blood, feigns distress to halt a passing car. As the occupants exit to assist her, the widow and her cohorts ambush and dispatch them. Tilda discovers a stash of gold in the vehicle's trunk, while the widow retrieves a pickaxe from one of the deceased. It is then revealed that the widow's forces have captured a clipper from the recent skirmish, and she employs the pickaxe to decapitate him. As evening falls, Sunny observes MK practicing his combat techniques on a training dummy. Suddenly, MK brandishes a knife, contemplating unleashing his latent power, but ultimately refrains. The following morning, Sunny escorts MK to a remote location and wounds his arm, asserting the need to understand his abilities. In response, MK's eyes darken, and with a single strike, he incapacitates Sunny before losing consciousness himself. Upon awakening, Sunny advises MK that in future instances he should concentrate on a tranquil or positive memory to regain control. Inside the fortress, Quinn receives the decapitated head of the deceased Clipper, marked with the word "Parley" on his forehead. Enclosed is a message from Jacoby, accusing Quinn of raiding his gold convoy. Quinn instructs Ryder to ride out and accept the proposed meeting. However, Ryder, upon meeting Ziffer, presents his own proposition. Later, Sunny visits Vale's abode, only to discover her conversing with MK regarding the mysterious book. He is dismayed to learn of their collaboration, realizing that MK lacks knowledge on escaping the Badlands. After MK departs, Vale confides in Sunny about Quinn's affliction with a tumor. Meanwhile, Jade ends her relationship with Ryder as she prepares for her impending wedding. Enraged, Ryder accuses her of naivety, suggesting that Quinn's second wife's demise was not natural and that Jade herself is in jeopardy. Seeking answers, Jade consults a servant, who reveals seeing Lydia collecting poisonous flowers before the second wife's demise. The following day, Sunny selects 6 apprentices to accompany him to the parley, much to MK's frustration at not being chosen. As Quinn and his entourage arrive at the City of the Dead, Sunny detects a presence nearby and apprehends the individual, only to discover it is MK. He rebukes MK and assigns him to stand guard while they attend the meeting. Ziffer presents Baron Jacoby, who remains skeptical of Quinn's accusations against the widow. Suddenly, MK notices Tilda's arrival and her attempt to hurl a pickaxe. He alerts Sunny, enabling him to intervene just in time to prevent Quinn's demise. Chaos erupts as the factions of Jacoby and Quinn engage in combat. Meanwhile, Sunny pursues Tilda, but his pursuit is abruptly halted by Ziffer. As the conflict between the two factions escalates, MK engages in combat with Tilda. They exchange blows before Tilda retreats, launching a butterfly shuriken that draws blood and triggers MK's latent power. In a desperate move, Tilda hurls a vase at him, but it fails to deter him. MK seizes Tilda by the neck and hurls her against a wall. Despite her injuries, Tilda evades MK's assaults and addresses him by name, momentarily breaking his trance before he collapses. Sensing Sunny's presence, Tilda distracts him by throwing another shuriken and flees the scene. Amidst the dwindling soldiers and escalating tension, Jacoby and Quinn prepare to engage in a duel. However, their confrontation is interrupted by Sunny, who presents Tilda's shuriken as evidence of the widow's manipulation. Jacoby shifts blame onto Quinn for incurring the widow's wrath, suggesting that resolving the conflict lies in dealing with her. Upon their return to the fortress, Quinn's group is devastated to find the Clippers slaughtered by the widow's forces. A surviving housemaid reveals that the apprentices were bribed with gold. Fueled by vengeance, Quinn tasks Sunny with capturing the widow. Meanwhile, Ziffer deceives Ryder, promising to escort him to Jacoby, but instead leading him to the widow, as Ziffer has been secretly aligned with her all along. The widow proposes a pact to Ryder, promising to secure his father's position and Ziffer's assent to Jacoby's role in exchange for delivering MK. Frustrated by his father's lack of faith in him, Ryder agrees to the arrangement. Meanwhile, Sunny ventures to the docks, utilizing a gift from Waldo to secure an audience with the River King. Seeking an exit from the Badlands, Sunny appeals to the River King for assistance. However, the River King reminds Sunny that his debt is owed to Waldo, not Sunny himself, and offers a new proposition. He divulges that a shipment of 28 apprentices was en route, but one among them massacred the others. The River King demands the return of the perpetrator in exchange for ensuring Sunny's safe passage. Upon seeing a picture of MK among the apprentices, Sunny is taken aback. Back at the fortress, Sunny persists in training MK and interrogates him about the massacre on the boat. Suddenly, in a nightmare, MK's eyes darken and he shoves Sunny off the edge. Sunny awakens in a cold sweat at Vale's residence. Taking advantage of the moment, Sunny examines the mysterious book and makes a startling discovery. His compass fits snugly into a hole in the pages, causing the arrows to shift, while the widow extends a warm welcome to the boys liberated from Quinn's stronghold, pledging them a brighter future. She also subjects them to a gruesome test, slicing their hands in search of the boy harboring the secret power. However, none of the boys display any reaction to her probing. Meanwhile, at Quinn's fortress, Ryder confers with Waldo, presenting him with the necklace. Waldo advises Ryder to seek out his grandfather, suggesting that he might possess valuable insights into the artifact. Quinn attempts to address the new recruits, but he is overcome by an excruciating headache, forcing him to retreat indoors. Vale attends to him, administering medication. In a startling revelation, Quinn confides in Vale, asserting that it was Sunny, not himself, who was responsible for her parents' demise. Meanwhile, Ryder pays a visit to his grandfather, Penrith. Upon laying eyes on the necklace, Penrith elucidates its origin, tracing it to Azra, a mythical realm existing solely in tales. Following Ryder's departure, Penrith instructs a cleric to alert the apostles within the fortress of the presence of a Dark One. The following day, Sunny leads a small expedition into the forest, comprising 3 warriors, including MK, in search of clues to locate the widow. While scouting the area, MK discovers a butterfly shuriken and attempts to retrieve it. Sensing danger, Sunny intervenes, prodding the shuriken with a stick, triggering a concealed trap. Reacting swiftly, Sunny leaps into the air, delivering a powerful kick to a nearby tree branch, setting off additional traps in the vicinity. Suddenly, their attention is drawn to a distant cry. Rushing to investigate, they find a Clipper ensnared in one of the traps. Sunny swiftly releases him, but the Clipper's leg injury renders him incapable of assisting them further. As night descends, the group halts to establish camp, with Sunny assigning MK to the first watch. While the others slumber, Tilda covertly approaches MK, cautioning him that the widow suspects him of possessing the coveted power. She warns MK that excessive use of this power will gradually drain him, potentially leading to his demise. Tilda urges MK to flee, highlighting that everyone, including the widow and Sunny, seeks to exploit him for his abilities. Abruptly, Sunny emerges behind Tilda, swiftly incapacitating her to capture her. MK attempts to clarify that Tilda helped him harness his power, but Sunny remains steadfast in his determination to extract information regarding the widow's whereabouts from her. Apprentice Bale resorts to insults, in an effort to coerce Tilda into divulging the desired intel, prompting her to retaliate by biting his neck. Despite her defiance, Tilda remains tight-lipped, prompting Sunny to opt for transporting her to the fort for further interrogation. In the morning, the widow and her warriors stumble upon Tilda's dagger, adorned with a piece of blue cloth, lodged in a tree. Enraged, the widow orders one of her warriors to relay a message to their spy within the fort, initiating plans for a rescue operation. Meanwhile, at the fortress, Jade delivers food to Quinn, only to suddenly collapse as she suffers a seizure. In the dungeons, Sunny implores Tilda to disclose the widow's hiding place, assuring her that he harbors no intentions of inflicting harm upon her. In a sudden turn of events, the widow storms into the dungeon, swiftly incapacitating MK with her whip. Sunny immediately launches a counterattack, engaging in a fierce battle with the widow, their blades clashing amid the chaos of the dungeon. As their confrontation intensifies, they crash through a wall, finding themselves in an armory, where they seize any available weapon to continue their struggle. Through a relentless exchange of blows, utilizing everything from swords to torches, Sunny eventually gains the upper hand, inflicting severe wounds upon the widow. Meanwhile, MK manages to free Tilda, only to be blindsided and rendered unconscious by Bale. As Bale savagely assaults Tilda, MK awakens to witness her plight. Desperate to intervene, MK taps into his own blood, activating his latent power to send Bale hurtling through the air. The sudden commotion disrupts Sunny's attempt to dispatch the widow, and they both watch in astonishment as Bale meets a grisly demise, impaled on spikes below. Amidst the chaos, Sunny rushes to MK's side as the boy loses consciousness. Seizing the opportunity, Tilda and the widow seize their chance to flee. Despite Sunny's pursuit through a hidden tunnel, they manage to elude him. Meanwhile, Quinn, observing the events from the dungeons, witnesses everything. The following day, Sunny resorts to a cunning ploy, presenting the River King with Bale's head, masquerading it as MK's. Given their resemblance, the River King is deceived, instructing Sunny to rendezvous with his companions precisely at midnight, lest they be abandoned. Afterward, Sunny visits Vale's clinic, warning her against attending to Quinn that day, as it would jeopardize their escape. Vale confronts Sunny about her parents' death, expressing her disappointment that he failed to intervene. She hesitates about fleeing with him, stating she needs time to contemplate her decision. In the meantime, one of Penrith's associates ventures to an ancient cathedral to rendezvous with 3 monks. He informs them that Penrith has apprehended a Dark One and displays the wanted notice. The monks retrieve a box from their vehicle and depart. Back at the fortress, Lydia tends to Jade, only to be confronted by an enraged Quinn. Convinced that Lydia poisoned Jade, Quinn demands her immediate expulsion from the fortress, disregarding her protestations of innocence. Subsequently, the Clippers escort Lydia away from the fortress, and Ryder approaches her to return her religious icons and bid farewell. Nevertheless, Lydia asserts that Ryder won't survive a day without her before departing. Eventually, Lydia reaches her father's abode and seeks absolution, presenting the icons as evidence of her allegiance to her origins. Penrith requires her to vow renunciation of all worldly possessions and a commitment to never leave again before leading her to the pool for a purifying ritual. Emerging from the water after a brief immersion, Lydia receives a warm embrace from Penrith, signifying her reintegration. In the village, Vale is suddenly seized and brought before the widow to attend to her injury. Vale administers some medication and proceeds to mend the wound. Upon completion, Vale leaves 3 vials for the widow, disclosing that 2 contain poison while the 3rd holds medicine. She agrees to reveal which is which only after safely reaching her clinic. Instructing Tilda to escort Vale home, the widow blindfolds her for the journey. Upon returning to the village, Vale confides in Tilda that the blue vial contains the medicine and expresses her disapproval of her mother's coercion of young girls into combat for their cause. Thus, Tilda now holds the authority to decide whether to save her mother or not. Returning to Quinn's stronghold, he accuses Sunny of espionage on behalf of the widow, with other Clippers encircling him. Sunny is compelled to surrender his sword and is confined to the dungeon, bound to the bars. Subsequently, Quinn summons MK and proposes a deal. If MK complies with his commands, Sunny will be spared, and Tilda will be brought to the fortress for sanctuary. Aware of MK's lack of experience with women, Quinn suggests taking him to a brothel to hone his skills, ensuring he won't disappoint Tilda in the future. Afterward, Waldo attempts to visit Sunny, but a Clipper blocks his path, citing prohibition. In response, Waldo incapacitates the Clipper with a blow to the groin, followed by swiftly breaking his neck. Subsequently, Waldo liberates Sunny and advises him to flee before the widow launches her assault, prompting Sunny to realize Waldo's allegiance to the widow. Before departing, Waldo presents Sunny with a necklace, explaining he retrieved it from Sunny's neck when he discovered him as a child. Sunny is astonished to find it identical to MK's, signaling a significant revelation. In the village, MK senses the eerie absence of any inhabitants, prompting his suspicions. Similarly, Quinn detects the abnormality and commands the concealed men to reveal themselves. While he anticipates the emergence of Jacoby and Zypher, he is deeply distraught to find his own son among them. In a desperate act, Quinn slashes MK on the right shoulder and then conceals himself as MK's eyes darken. Subsequently, Jacoby attempts to assail MK, but the boy effortlessly overwhelms him, hurling him into a nearby building. Meanwhile, Quinn encounters Sonny, who swiftly impales him with his sword. Meanwhile, on the streets, MK overpowers and dispatches Jacoby's men, leaving them lifeless. He moves to confront Ryder, poised to strike, but Sonny intervenes just in time. Ignoring Sonny's plea, MK forcefully pushes him aside, allowing Ryder to escape. Subsequently, Ziffer attempts to grasp onto MK's legs, but he seizes her by the hair and hurls her aside. In the midst of the chaos, the three monks arrive and engage MK in combat, employing precise strikes to target the boy's pressure points and incapacitate him. Determined to prevent MK's departure with the monks, Sonny confronts two of them in battle. The monks land several blows on Sonny, weakening him, but he maintains his resilience, matching their strength. Seeing this, the third monk opts to join the fray, hurling Sonny against a nearby car. Undeterred, Sonny swiftly counterattacks with his swords, inflicting a wound on the monk, who retreats to regroup with his companions. Suddenly, darkness envelops the streets as the lights extinguish and the monks' eyes darken. In this moment of unity, they launch a coordinated assault, overwhelming Sonny. Despite the odds stacked against him, Sonny refuses to surrender and launches another fierce attack with his sword. The monks shatter Sonny's sword and execute a synchronized assault, incapacitating him before hurling him into a nearby building. Subsequently, they confine MK within a box and depart, leaving Sonny at their mercy. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure discovers Sonny, who is later discovered by Vale amidst a multitude of lifeless bodies, with only his sword as a testament to his presence. Come morning, Sonny awakens to find himself bound to a beam inside a vessel. The River King emerges, bearing Bale's head as evidence of his awareness of the truth. He sternly warns Sonny that betrayal carries severe consequences, emphasizing his authority and resolve. Because he refrains from being a murderer, the River King decides to sell Sonny outside the borders of the Badlands. Meanwhile, MK awakens to find that he has also been captured, this time by the monks. He realizes he is unable to free himself and escape from the box in which he is confined. Thus ends the first season.